When it comes to the Packers going up against the Bucks, who do you think is going to come out on top and why?
To be honest, I think Aaron Rodgers is due up for one. I think it's about time that he shakes this narrative that he can't beat Brady. Also, this is probably the most convenient time for him to do so because of the injuries that Kyle had just alluded to. Obviously, the offensive line of the Buccaneers has been the biggest form of concern for me personally, and yet they are 2-0 because of that stout, probably league's best defense right behind Buffalo. And then you go and you look at what they've been able to do in the offensive end, and you said outside of Leonard Fournette's big performance in Week 1, it's been a little lackluster. So I'm going to go with Green Bay here. But obviously, at this point, this is where it gets complicated because the Green Bay Packers offense is reliant upon one person, in my personal opinion, and that's Aaron Jones. The Tampa Bay Buccaneers have always had one of the better rush defenses in the league over the course of the last 4 to 5 seasons. So if Aaron Rodgers is going to solely rely on the run game with Jones and Dillon, and of course, some different kind of plays that LaFleur is going to be able to get out there, maybe with something with Randall Cobb out of the backfield, I don't know. You're going to have to dial something up. I think it's going to be a struggle win because let's be frank, I can't rely on the Green Bay receivers. Alan Lazard had a touchdown, but only had 2 catches last week. Randall Cobb has kind of been inconsistent. Sammy Watkins has been inconsistent, and their rookies have not performed well. So I'm looking at this and I'm saying I'm picking Green Bay for the sheer fact that I think Aaron Rodgers is going to be able to capitalize on the amount of turnovers that I think this Green Bay defense is going to be able to take away from Tampa. I think the pass rush is going to get to Tom Brady. I think Jair Alexander and Rasul Douglas are going to be able to limit the quantity of receivers that's going to be available because let's be frank, even if Julio does play, he's going to be injured. But the number 2 outside of that is Rashad Perriman. I don't have enough faith in the backup receiving core with Scotty Miller and a couple of those other players that they're going to be able to move past that Green Bay secondary. So I'm going to go with Green Bay, and I think that it's going to be a close one in Tampa, especially depending on the weather because it has been raining quite a bit in Florida like the last couple of weeks. I do believe it's going to probably be somewhere along 14-17 Green Bay. Again, if Green Bay's pass rush can get to Tom Brady, I think that this game can be easily blown open. It's just a matter of will Tampa's front 4 break, and can Aaron Rodgers take advantage of the possessions he's going to have?
The funny thing is, I have really no confidence in either team to win this game because each team has their own issues. It's just, the young wide receivers for the Packers, the amount of injuries that the Bucs are dealing with. I mean, honestly, this game is a toss-up as far as I'm concerned. I think with this one, though, I'm going to side with the Bucs. Like I said, not a lot of confidence here, but I am going to favor Tom in this one simply just because I think they're going to do just enough to get by. And I have a little bit more faith in Tampa's defense than I do Green Bay's. Because when I look at Tampa Bay's defense, for example, right now, Kev, they've only given up, I believe, 13 points in the first 2 games. They're basically averaging a touchdown allowed in the first 2 games of the year, which is very stout. And when I look at Green Bay's defense, in Week 1, they got exposed a little bit. Justin Jefferson had a great day in that Week 1 matchup against Green Bay. Green Bay did get it back together in Week 2. They were able to get back into the win column. But this is going to be probably the most difficult defense that they faced so far. And I think that Bucs defense is going to give them issues. And, the young receivers are going to be a point of emphasis here. And with the way that Tampa secondary has essentially locked down the opposing receivers that they've gone up against so far, that is a really good point of a note here. And I think that by and large, I think Green Bay's offense is going to struggle to move the ball up and down the field. I still believe that they're going to put up points just because I think Aaron Rodgers is going to find ways to get some touchdowns in there against that stout Tampa defense. But overall, I think that Tampa's going to do enough just based off of sheer will of their defense. And I don't think that Tom is going to turn the ball over against that Green Bay defense. Now, I have to say, when it comes to Tampa's offense, they are injured. And not just a little bit, a lot of it. Their offensive line has been an issue. There have been times where Tom's been getting pressured consistently in these first 2 games, against the Cowboys specifically. And New Orleans brought some pressure as well. Not having Mike Evans is going to hurt because he's serving a 1-game suspension. Chris Godwin and Julio Jones are probably not going to be in the lineup. If they do, it'll be a game-time decision for both of them. But overall, I think that Tampa's going to simplify their offense. They're going to focus on running the ball with Leonard Fournette. And I think, if they're able to get some separation against those Green Bay cornerbacks and maybe some safeties, I think it'll be enough to get by. The way that I see it, I think it's going to be a very low scoring game. I think this is going to be a defensive battle because I think by and large, the offenses are just not at tip top shape here. And I think as far as the score is, I'm going to say that Tampa wins this one like 24-20, maybe like 21-17. I think points are going to come at a premium here. Both teams are not healthy right now. Well, I should say the Bucks aren't healthy. It's just the Packers are dealing with chemistry issues. But I don't think this is going to be a high scoring game. I think this is going to be like a rock'em sock'em robot fight. I think it's going to come down to the end. I think that Tom's going to be able to do enough to get past that Green Bay defense. So I'm going to go with the Bucks on this one.